Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Jen and I'm your host, and I would like to welcome both new and returning viewers to the channel. If you've never been here before, I hope that you will find this to be a fun and inspirational channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing all of my finished objects for the month of June 2021. I am participating in the Knit Girls podcast Summer Knit Along, which is called Stash Dash. I compete every year. A basic idea of the Knit Along is that you set a goal for yourself, like a 5K, similar to a 5K run that you would do, but you are trying to get that in meters in finished projects over the course of the summer. And there's different goals you can set: 5K, 10K, 15K, I think is the highest one. And the goal is to reach your personal goal. Although my friend Jasmine and I have kind of taken it to a whole new level. You could argue healthy or unhealthy, but this is my sash because I usually kick her butt. And this year I'm on a roll and I wanted to just pop in and share each month my finished objects with you because it's really fun to share them on video. I do also talk about all of my finished objects over on the Downseller Studio audio podcast, which you can get wherever you like to listen to podcasts. All right, let's dive right in. I have finished 10 projects in the month of June, and I'm really excited about all of them. 2 of them are garments, so let's start with the first sweater that I finished. This is the Freewheeler sweater by Kristen Finlay. It's an oversized sweater with a really fun construction. I believe it's meant for holding fingering weight along with a mohair, but I just held 2 strands of fingering weight together. So one strand of fingering weight was just a solid gray, which was holiday yarn, and then I used some CeCe's wool in the Cherries Jubilee variegated colorway, and it just gave this beautiful effect. I wasn't planning to try things on, but this one I might try on just to show you. At the top, it's all garter stitch, and that part is worked flat, so you're only ever knitting it, and then the rest of it is knit in the round, and it's stockinette. So really, it's just a whole lot of knitting, and it's really, really fun. I love the shape of it. I think it looks rather polished, even though it's pretty cozy. So I'm very happy with this sweater. I highly recommend it. It's about $11 Australian, $9 US. I think it might only be available on Ravelry, but I will put links for this and everything else in the show notes. So again, it doesn't really match what I'm wearing, but it's a cute outfit. Okay, that is my Freewheeler sweater. The next top that I finished was a test knit for my friend Shana, who is Shana Lines Designs on Ravelry and Instagram, and it is her Recalibrate top. I had so much fun with this, and I'm not going to try this one on because it's going to look silly over what I'm wearing, but I'm going to pop in some video of me doing happy dances because when I finish sweaters, I like to do a happy dance and share it on YouTube, even though I look crazy, but it's a lot of fun. So this is another really fun construction, all garter stitch, with one exception, which I tweaked, so I only ever did garter stitch. You start by making this panel here, and this is the front technically, and this is the back, but the beauty is that it can be worn either way. The top here on the back comes up a little bit higher, but again, you can wear it either way, super fun. And then you're picking up and you're working this way, which creates these vertical stripes, which are, I think, very flattering. I did make some modifications in that these 2 garter bump stripes is what the pattern calls for. I modified it to do 1 garter bump stripes as I got to the edges, and I really like the way that looks. It's a pretty cool effect. This is fingering weight yarn at a very loose gauge. I'm not going to name all of the yarns that I used in this, but you can find them all below. And the cool thing is that Shana has tons of different testers in different sizes and who are using varying amounts of ease. So I made a size 5, and I think it's about a 50-inch circumference. So that's obviously bigger than my circumference, but I wanted a lot of ease. Now, if you want it to be more fitted, you'll be able to see folks who did that and see how it falls on their body because she has so many testers, and it's a very size inclusive pattern. I forget exactly what the top end of the range is, but definitely recommend that you go ahead and check it out. And if you're watching this now in early July, you can go ahead and sort of pre-order the pattern. You can buy it. There's a coupon code. I think it's summer, but I will link to all of that below, and you can get it for a discount. And it gives you all of the yarn specs and your details so you can do your swatching. And then at the end of July, you'll actually get the pattern details sent to you. So highly recommend. I think I've seen some examples where folks have used hand spun. You could stripe or not stripe this. You could do advent minis. You can do all sorts of different things. Let me show you. I use the same color on the sides panels as I did for the back. And then the only other modification I did on this one was I did a split hem. So instead of working garter in the round, I picked up some of the stitches from each edge and then the front, and then did the same kind of thing on the back. And I really like the way that that came out. I did do, let me just show you, a little faux I-cord edging. So it looks pretty polished. And again, I'm really happy with that. So this is the Recalibrate top by Shana Designs. Definitely recommend. Go give it a look. Oh, the other thing I didn't mention is that I did the full size, so it's quite long. It's a tunic length. There is a hip length option as well, and you do need to choose that at the beginning because, again, you are kind of working up and over for the body of this top. Okay, so those are my two finished garments. The next thing was a very tiny little thing. I'm just gonna look at my notes here. I'm gonna pop in some video because I already gifted this. It was a pattern called Princess and Knight by Sylvia Uson. It was the pattern has a princess, a knight, and a steed. I made only the steed and the knight, but my nephew wanted it to be an alien knight. So you'll see he's a nice bright green. I used mostly Knit Picks Brava in black and alfalfa green and Midnight Heather, which is the navy. And then I used Big Twist Twinkle Silver to give it that kind of silver metallic look to it. But I wanted to share a quick video of the alien knight that I made for my nephew Oshin for his birthday. This little helmet comes off completely. I'm not going to take it off. I used really fun eyes from 6060 on Etsy. The mask comes down over his eyes, which is what he requested. And I took this from just a regular knight pattern, but made the face green to make him look like an alien. And then I made a cute little horse to go with it. It's mostly black, but with a charcoal snout, which you can hardly see. And again, some really cool eyes. I made the saddle and the stirrups, although I decided not to give the little alien legs because I just didn't think that he needed them. So, and then I attached some yarn for the mane and the tail, and then I brushed them out with a wire brush because I thought that looked really cute. And they're just a fun little pair and not so great at standing up with just one hand. He was really happy with it. It came out really cute, and it was only like less than 47 meters for Stash Dash, but that's okay. I didn't mention that my Freewheeler sweater was over 2,000 meters for Stash Dash, and my Recalibrate was over 1,100 meters. I think I'll give you my grand total at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. But I hope you liked my little alien knight and his steed. Let's do another big finish. I started this blanket a very long time ago. This is the Hydrangea Stripes blanket by Lucy of Attic 24. If you are a crocheter, you've probably made one of her patterns. They quite often go viral, I find. It is a free pattern, and this is the second one that I've made, and I enjoy it very much. Hopefully you can see all this beautiful detail. Again, as always, I tend to modify things. So for this one, you're supposed to go across and back in one color, and I didn't do that. I changed colors every single row, but I like the effect of those little fan stitches with just a single row in the stripes, and I'm really happy with that. I followed the instructions for the spike stitch border, and again, really happy with the way that that came out. The modification that I did to this is I just made it smaller than what's called for. I cast on 86 stitches. I forget exactly how many it calls for. The blanket is about 36 inches wide and tall, so it's 36 inches square before I put the border on. So it's a pretty generous baby blanket. And I used lots of Vanna's Choice, so it's nice and washable, and a little bit of that Big Twist Soft. So all different beautiful colors. Again, they will all be linked below, but I'm super pleased with this and excited to gift this to our family later this summer. And yet again, let's see how many meters. This one was over 1,100 meters for Stash Dash. Jasmine, you might be knitting all the sweaters, but blankets are a lot of meters. Okay, let's switch into some smaller projects, which is the rest of what I'm going to share with you today. I have finished a bunch of socks. So first up, I did a pair of scrappy socks using all scraps of Knit Picks Felici self-striping yarn. And I just adore these. I think they are a ridiculous amount of fun. They're different, but they're pulling from the same kinds of colorways. And these were just a blast. My go-to for socks is the OMG heel pattern by Megan Williams. It is written for toe up and cuff down. I'm a cuff down knitter. I do 56 stitches on a US 1.5 needle, 2.5 millimeters. So that's what you're gonna see for all of these. So these are my scrappy socks. I also used the Knit Picks Felici Dragon Boat colorway, which is this beautiful one. Unfortunately with Knit Picks Felici, you often can't get the same colors over and over again, so you may not be able to get this one, but I also used some leftovers for cuff seals and toes. This is some Holly Press Fibers yarn that I had left over from some minis, and this variegated yarn is Twisted Owl Fiber Studio in the Poison Ivy colorway. And I only used a 50-gram skein of Knit Picks Felici for this, and I had literally just enough, but I had done my sort of math. I think it's about a 9.5 inch, well, a little less than a 9.5 inch leg total and a 9.5 inch foot. So those are my Dragon Boat socks. And then switching away from Felici, this pair of socks is self-striping from Lisa over at Fiber Nymph Dye Works. Love her. She's one of our perennial sponsors for my audio podcast and our summer splash pad party knit along and often our pigskin party knit along. This is her Signs of the Season colorway, and I love that this is kind of a non-traditional self-striping in that it's kind of variegated within the striping. Really fun. Again, Signs of the Season colorway from Fiber Nymph Dye Works. And last but not least for the socks, this is a pair of socks using yarn from Freckled Whimsy in the Happy Birthday colorway, which went on sale right before my birthday in June. I cast on right the day before my birthday and then finished them about a week later. Really love how fun. Again, love that bit of speckled within the stripes. I tend to use about 60 or 70 grams max for a pair of socks, so they usually get me about 260 meters for stash dash for every pair of socks that I finish, which is a good estimator when you're trying to compete against yourself or somebody else to keep that stash. So that's kind of what I estimate is 250 to 260 meters is usually what I use for socks. All right, that's 8. We have 2 left to go. These were really quick projects. The first one, I went into my cotton stash to make some jar cozies because we tend to use these a lot this time of year, and I found this already done. Bonus. So this is some Rowan cotton yarn. This is Lily Sugar and Cream, and this is Lion Brand Re-Up. It's basically a variation on my, oh, actually, it's not. These look like double crochets. I don't know. I did this last year. I think these are double crochets, and then I moved into single crochets up here and just kind of tweaked it as I went. This is a 32-ounce ball jar, which Dan likes to drink out of, or you can store things in them, but it was great to use up some cotton. And then this one is my ball band with a twist pattern, which is available on Lovecrafts and Ravelry. You work the bottom in single crochet, and then you change hook sizes, and you do some half double crochet here, which creates this beautiful effect. And I thought these were just fun for 4th of July, nice and festive, really quick. Again, not a lot of meters. This one was 38 meters, this one was 62 meters, but hey, every little bit adds up. So that is what I finished in the month of June. So where does that put me in terms of the numbers? Drum roll, please. Are you ready? 5,531 meters for the month of June. I'm feeling pretty happy with that. I have a ton of stuff still on the spinning wheel and on the crochet hook and on the knitting needles. So I'm excited to see what I can pull off in the month of July. If you are not already participating in the Knit Girls Stash Dash Knit Along, go ahead and jump in. It's It's a really fun make along. And if you are participating in my Splash Pad Party knit along through the Down Cellar Studio podcast, don't forget you can definitely double or triple dip with whatever other event you'd like to participate in. If you have any questions or comments, I would love it if you would comment down below. Give this video a big thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. And if this channel's not for you, no worries. Feel free to move right along. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch up with you again really soon.